Hello and welcome to the Are You Stuck seminar. I'm your host, Salvatore Leota,
And I'm your host, Gary Lombardi.
and we're kind of in like a weird state of mind today. We filmed this seminar yesterday live on YouTube. I looked back at the audio, and I could hear Gary loud and clear. Everything I said cut out, so I don't know if it was something with our software or something in the where we messed up somewhere, but I don't know what happened. We filmed the whole thing just to find out that it wasn't recording. And I gotta say, it was probably one of the best conversations we've had on this channel.
Yeah.
So I'm beyond upset about it. I know Gary is too, but hopefully the second time around we can even cover things that we might have missed. Maybe we'll do a better job. So let me get behind how this seminar was designed and how it's designed to kind of help you guys. So as you guys know, me and Gary have been working together for the last 5-6 months. Along the road, we've had our obstacles that we've had to overcome, just like every other business. Obstacles having to do with me as the way I do business. Obstacles of crossroads that we've gone upon in the whole mix of creating this. Um, and there's a lot of aspects to someone's personality and somebody's mindset where we need people to talk to sometimes. And I think finding the proper guidance is hard to find, not only with your parents, but in general. A lot of your friends aren't really your friends, and a lot of you haven't really found that out yet, but it's hard to get quality guidance. So I want to start off by introducing Gary. If you guys haven't seen the past podcasts, 40 plus years entrepreneur, been through the world, conflicts and things, has resolved everything he's come across, very successful and very admirable. So I'm going to let Gary take the wheel here and kind of explain how this was designed.
Well, thanks, Sal. I appreciate it. It's hard to start again. Like Sal said, we our energy was up last night. We covered the topics we wanted to cover. We had great sync together, and to find out after an hour of recording and filming that there was no audio coming out.
Nightmare. Absolute
Yeah,
nightmare.
and so so here we were talking today, Sal. There's got to be a way. We got to try to figure something out. I mean, it's hard to replicate what we did.
Yeah.
And we
Yep.
went to work trying that. Sal's pretty good at troubleshooting, and to no avail. So I said to Sal, you know what? Let's just pick ourselves up, brush our boots off, and just like do our best and come out swinging, because otherwise we're going to be thinking about it and thinking about it. So
Yeah.
he,
So I'm happy we're getting it out of the way again.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
who knows? It might be better this time around.
So let me see. So here we are, and we've had some discussions, and we're actually talking about what Sal prefaced the opening this podcast with was mentorship, coaching, advice, and I think everyone, even professionals, more so professionals, get trainers, get coaches, professional ball players, batting. They get pros to train them. And in today's society, more than ever, we hear about coaching. So in doing business together, Sal and I, for a few months, there are some issues that came up, and very civil. We've gone about it, but we've expressed our differences, and more so myself. I expressed my uh, you know difference with what was going on, and some of it was accuracy of conversation. So and what is said is specific, and I'm very specific, and we need to have that communication. If you're saying something to me, I need to know that you're going to follow up with what you said. So uh, that's the overall on this, Sal. So
Yeah.
let's get the energy up. Think of
Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead. Yeah,
We'll cover the same topics we covered
that's
yesterday.
it.
We'll go a little bit more in depth since we know what we kind of spoke about. Um,
Let's-
let's start off with this, okay? Um, since we're already on the topic and we're talking about the whole guidance thing, let's talk about what were the few things that you saw in the way we were orchestrating business, the way I was operating. That don't tell me the good things, but the bad things that you saw, things that I could work on, um, things, yeah, things of that nature.
So, like I said yesterday, I'm recalling a little bit. I mean, we first met, and you had a nice personality, friendly guy. I figured you were and generally a good guy, looking to come from the right place. And I think some of the things that came up that were bugging me a bit were some of we just didn't. Like I said, words and action. So the biggest thing was I think to a certain degree, you try to please people, and it's hard to say no, and so on. So one of the main issues was whatever is said. If we're doing business, okay, personal life. That's something separate. It's good to be clear in our conversations, clear with our words. Okay, I think that's the fundamentals of communication and who we are. Just clarity of words that gives an insight to who we are as beings. But if you're doing business, especially, uh, you know, uh, whatever is said, we need to be cautious as to what the words that come out because I'm going to follow up what you said. I expect that to be whether it be the time we're going to get together, so on and so forth. And I've been in different businesses, especially real estate business, and specifically, especially real estate. You had to be very, uh, cross your T's, dot your I's. There wasn't room for error, really. I'm sorry to say, but there really wasn't if you were going to be successful. So these are some of the things. And over the years, I guess I was taught uh, in different aspects of my life and doing business, and just not to assume. So that's the overall, Sal. And
So,
yeah.
so part of the thing that we said was, and I understood this. Now, just to give a quick background on kind of why I was accepting of what Gary brought to my attention was this. And I said this at the end of the video yesterday, but I'm going to bring it up now because I think it's very important. Um, when me and Gary first started working together, you know, we came to each other for a service to each other. You know, we didn't really come together as I'm going to take advice from you, you're going to take advice from me. We had a project in mind that we wanted to fulfill, something we both thought we needed to do over the course of our lives, and we worked toward it. There were certain moments, though.
I'm listening. I'm going to put the air up. Go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead. So there were certain moments where we kind of spoke, and Gary would say something to me, and I wouldn't really think about it too much. He would say something about something I was doing or something like that, and he would kind of give me some insight on it indirectly. So I go home, whatever. I'm sitting on the couch with my girlfriend, and then a thought came into my mind, like, I wonder why he said that, right? Whatever. Following day we catch up. I'm not thinking of anything. The next couple times we spoke, the same kind of thing happened where, he pinpointed certain things that I was making mistakes. Um,
So
so when I finally sat down and I was like, he's got to be saying this to me for a reason. I must be doing something wrong. Then I go into my notebook that I always go to. I just write. I started writing everything that I wrote down every question that he asked me, and I tried to come up with a logical answer for the things that he asked me. And for some of the questions, I really couldn't come up with an answer. So then I was like, you know what? I really got to start listening to him, because he clearly sees something in me that I don't. And I think that's a hard thing to admit, and I'm glad to open up and speak it because a lot of people are very shelled in. They're very closed off on people's opinions of them and stuff like that. But I think when you're taking advice from somebody older than you, more experienced, if you're not willing to learn, I don't think you're going to really get much further. So I ended up realizing that maybe Gary was sent to me to really be a mentor to me, and we got into this a little bit. I'll get into it again. My first business was an online investing company. I didn't really speak to clients. I didn't speak to business owners. I didn't do any of that. My clients, the small amount of clients I had in the beginning, really blew my business up. Referrals and just people were, sharing my content, and they loved me. They loved what I was doing. So I never really had that one-to-one connection with anybody. I never had to open up. So when people used to ask me like, you should get a mentor, and I always thought, why would I get a mentor who's going to teach me something I already know? Well, I couldn't have been more wrong about that statement. Bottom line, and I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. You could take my word and run with it, or you could pay no attention to me. But I could say truthfully that since I started actually opening up and expressing my problems with a mentor like Gary, I've noticed a massive turnaround in a lot of the aspects of my life. So you could take it as a testimony of somebody who actually believes in it. As a non-believer that I was, I've turned to this style of learning, this mentorship, this you're doing this wrong, you got to fix this. I'm accepting of it because I want to be a better person. So I just sorry to rant, but I had to get over that point. So what do you think about that?
Let's stay with that, Sal. So I think that's great, and and what I mentioned yesterday, and I'd like to surely mention it again, is that I think it takes a lot of courage to open up, courage to admit one's shortcomings, okay? And I think it's essential to growing and learning the ability um, uh, to be teachable. To say, you know what, I don't have all the answers. Why do I find myself in this predicament again and again if I'm so smart? And so, we can be smart in a lot of ways, but we're talking a smart here and how to coordinate everything, how to assimilate everything we've learned and move ahead in a smooth, methodical way and create success in all aspects of our life. Not just monetarily, but in our personal life, social lives, even with ourselves, that we're at peace. So I think that, and I'm pleased to work with you because not everyone is willing to say, this is what I need help, and I think it's and I must say that in my life, I've had mentors that I'm grateful for. And if I look back, I was taught certain lessons. And actually, my father was my greatest mentor. Okay. He had a lot of wisdom. And I was an attentive student. I listened, and he was very keen on human nature. And it just taught me a lot. And some of the things that he told me just taught me a lot. And today the things that I've learned over the years are with me today. And as I look back, I say, wow, I am so grateful for all that learning. To keep things in balance, to not be a fearful person, to realize that fear and anxiety and this is a choice, and all of this. So a lot to it, and I'm grateful for all that, and I'm thrilled working with you because it wouldn't be I wouldn't put the energy and effort into working with someone that doesn't want to change. And I really feel that you're very smart. You're very smart. You're capable. You got a good business head. You're a good negotiator. You're good, verbally, and we all need. And I'm happy to impart whatever I can, and for you to and to watch you grow in that respect, and to do business with you. I've had partners in the past also that at a certain point were half my age. And you know what? I learned from him. This was my real estate business, and he learned from me. And it was a great partnership that we had in all aspects, and we did business for 12 years very successfully, and but we were very open and transparent, and he had the same attitude. One of you know what, if I mentioned something, and one of the what started off conversations were, you told me you're going to call yesterday at a certain time, and I expect that to hear from you one way or the other. And if something comes up, hey, look, I know we're scheduled for 2 o'clock, but and you at least touch base. So,
Yeah.
and it brings you to being present, being conscious of our choices, and then there's So let me not continue to just go on and on.
No, but it's good. I think like one of the things we spoke about that I actually did learn, and I think you saw it today because I took it into my mind. Um, when you said that I send these short answers. So like,
Oh,
the other day, I kind of run them down a little bit. Gary sent me a message in the morning, and I'm definitely not the only one guilty of this. So all my younger guys out there, listen in on this part. So Gary sent to me. He said, "Hey, um, do you want to touch base at what was it, 12 or? Oh, I know we have a meeting at 12 o'clock. If you want to talk earlier, that's good with me." And I said, "Sounds good."
right.
In that question, though, he asked me two questions. He said, "Am I good for 12?" And he said, "If I wanted to go earlier, that he's available." And I simply responded with a two-word answer: "Sounds good." I didn't answer his first question, and I didn't answer his second question. Now, the way I speak to people, the way I kind of communicate, this is why I don't really like text messaging. I knew what I meant when I texted it, but I didn't take into part that maybe he didn't understand what I said. And I definitely reading that back now, I look stupid because I wouldn't have, if he sent me that answer, I wouldn't have known either. Um, and it's funny because today I actually, not to blow any of my clients up, but I had a client actually today that sent me a two-word answer like that, and I didn't know where he was going with it. So yeah. So but anyway, the to be very thorough with your messages, to kind of just give a little bit of peace of mind to the person that you're communicating with, I think is very very important, and I'm learning that now. Um, like today, we set up this other phone call at 2:30. I had a phone call with a client at 1:30. I said, "Listen, leave 2 o'clock open in case I get off the phone early. Worst comes to worst, we're set up for 2:30."
That's
And that's it. We understood. Communication was good, and we were here on time at 2:30, no problems.
Yeah.
So, just some fruit for thought there.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful. It's just yeah. Why not just it made things work smoothly. It didn't leave me hanging. I also have obligations, and I just don't want to be sitting waiting. And but you gave me the options and what was going on. And referring to the text that you referred to, it was just to make a point. It really wasn't that serious of a situation. It wasn't an issue, but I was just trying to tell you how I see it. That there were two
Yeah.
questions there, and you had the option to say, you know what, no, let's do 12 o'clock or not. I'm trying to.
Bottom line, though, Gary, like I actually read something yesterday. No, I didn't read. I actually watched the video. Um, and they said like if you try to better yourself a little bit every day, right? Whether it's like starting tomorrow, I'm gonna take a 20-minute walk, right? And then the next day you come up with something else. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna drink at least 6 glasses of water a day. It could be anything, whether it's your life or something you're doing wrong, like sending a stupid text like that. Not being thorough with my messages, not working on my communication skills. Granted, in a day, you're not really going to see the difference. Every single day, you're not going to see the difference. But the important part is to look back to see where you came from. And you'll notice that substantial amount of growth within yourself. So it's something that I want to I'm challenging myself to do for the rest of the year. I just want to better myself a little bit every single day. And I know I'm going to be a different person come 2023. So something as little as that is something that I'm working on, and it's one of those things. So
That's fantastic, Sal. Let me see what's going on here. Um, yeah. What else did we talk about yesterday? So we had that Psychology Today article, and then we were talking about electronics and
yeah, I think the online
parenting.
business.
Yeah.
So let's go into the online business thing. I know we spoke. I'm not going to bring it up again about my online business that I started with. Now, when I look back on that online business, yeah, it was very successful. We did really well, um, but I was missing a lot of the key ingredients to being a successful businessman. Somebody who can go. I've never worked a sales job in my life. I've never had to sell anyone anything. I've always been good at it. Like I've had that mindset since I was younger. From selling Arizonas in school, selling candy. We did it all. Don't get me wrong, but I never had a sales job. I was never taught by anybody. So I think that led to a lot of the communication skills that I was lacking when you started picking up certain things. Is because I never had to speak with a business owner. Now, that's not in my defense. I'm not defending myself. I just want to be completely honest on why I believe that came about. But I also want to bring it up because I know in this day and age, I'm not the only one who started with an online business. I know there's plenty of people out there watching this video right now that have online businesses currently, and whether it's B2C, B2B, you don't have to work as hard to get that client. Whether you're scheduling over direct message on Instagram, that's your first impression. That is not an in-person or an on the phone first impression. Anybody can be whoever they want to be behind a phone, but it's a matter of who you are, when you're speaking to somebody and when you're going to meet somebody, how you present yourself, how you speak. Those are certain things that I think a lot of the younger guys are lacking, and I think that's partly the reason. So, what are your thoughts on that, Gary?
Yeah, I think that's surely an issue in today's world, and I think years ago it was projected when once the technology era takes over and there's less in-person communication and less body language to pick up on, that the socialization of people is going to be more distant, less caring, less empathetic, more narcissistic. And I think that a lot of that has come about. But on the other hand, technology is a great asset to us, and so there's a fine line to how to utilize that, to be aware, and to be in control of your technology and not have it in control of you. That's a fine hair to split there also, but I think that sort of says it, because technology is great. It gets us to the moon. They do surgery from with precision from having computers and the communications, and it's just where we are in the world.
It's good you brought that up too, because we had that article that we were going to go to, but that pretty much touches on what that article pretty much said, and I touched on this a little bit yesterday, where we spoke about utilizing technology as a tool, and then utilizing it as it's like a second life. And I think that's where the major disconnect is when it comes to this demographic of individuals. When you look at it at a 6-year-old who knows how to run an iPad better than a 25-year-old businessman, a 30-year-old businessman, there's a little bit of I don't want to call it an issue, because if that person grows up older and sees a future in it and can utilize these tools to do something great, awesome. But to touch on what you said, you can add the whole narcissistic lifestyle into that as well. These people that live these fake lives, to get business or to look the way they want to look, when they're living this false reality. And I think technology's opened the door for a lot of that false reality, especially when you look at people, and this all ties in with the whole thing. Are you stuck? In the grand scheme of things, are you actually stuck, or are you stuck comparing yourself to somebody who's not 100% legit?
So I think a lot of people, uh, in some cases, suffer with this, that um, they're really not sure of who they are, and they're so influenced by the social media uh, that it's sort of a sad commentary in a way. But let's not. This platform, what we're looking to create here, is a place for people that want to. This is not to change the world, okay? Everyone can believe what they want, but we felt talking about this, especially that Sal just turned 24. A perfect example, and we're working together. I said, Sal, I'm sure there's a lot of young people, not only young, but people that were, when they were young, never learned and changed, and they've taken that with them throughout life, the areas that they've never grown in. So, we have these shortcomings, probably the wrong word. We have these, you know, people that just never changed, and who they were in certain aspects of their personality when they were 6, 7, 10 years old, they have when they're older, believe it or not. And but this is a place for people that recognize that, and maybe don't have a mentor or someone they can trust and talk to. They may have parents, but they can't talk to them and communicate. And even if they did, they're not going to get the same feedback they would from the world and people they don't know. It is more invested. The parent has usually reason, motivation behind their advice. So they don't go to the parent or relationship. So they don't have. So this is a place for people that maybe feel that, I could use some mentorship, some advice. Uh, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and you know what? I've never spoken to someone about this. It makes sense to me, and that's what we're looking to try and create, and we can make the one where we can have that people that come on, ask questions, and it would be, just.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely be doing like more in person type seminars, where we want multiple people to come on the show, people who are willing to get to be taught, kind of like the road I'm taking right now. Use me as a testimony to this. It's helped me. It's gonna help you guys, and we're taking a whole different direction with this podcast. This channel is gonna be more influential to try to help the shortcomings that you have. So you could use these videos to help you out, some fruit for thought, something to think about. At the same time, like, if you have any questions, anything like that, and you don't have anybody to speak to, you can reach out to us. You can come on the show. You can speak to us privately, and we can work together to try to make you the best you could possibly be. Now, I wanted to add something to what Gary said before, where you said that a lot of people have shortcomings. Now, I look at it, and I've looked at it like this for a very long time. I just never really put the pieces together. I always looked at it like a puzzle, right? When you look at a puzzle, a line puzzle, you have this one bead that you're trying to get around this whole puzzle, right? Now, you might take one destination, and it'll go pretty far. But if it's not the right one, you're going to come to a roadblock at some point. And I think the biggest struggles people have is they make it so far, but they just took the wrong path somewhere along the way. They didn't do something right, or there's something that they missed. And I think once you can work on that, once you can justify the problems that you're making, I think you have a better chance of applying those to your life, fixing and resolving those issues, and ultimately, fixing all your problems. And Gary knows I've been struggling with a lot of problems going on within my business and my lifestyle, and I've come to a point where I've accepted certain things that have been going on. I haven't made any rash decisions like I used to. I'm just trying to resolve the issues that I've created myself. Because at the end of the day, any problem you're having, um, it's all caused by up here.
We're
It's something whether you
responsible for
said,
our
something you
lives.
did.
Yes.
Um, it's definitely something that we put upon ourselves, and it's the same exact way that we put it on is the same exact way we can get it off. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it up to Gary for a little bit.
Yeah, no. So that's what we're talking about, Sal. And I hear us here. Like I said, forgive us that the synchronicity is a little off today because we just did this yesterday. It was and so I guess we're trying to repeat some of the things we said
Yeah,
and
definitely.
also create something new. So it's a little awkward. But you know what I said to Sal? Let's just get it out there, get it started. We got to face this sooner or later. We can say we could have said for a couple of days, oh boy, too bad it didn't come out right and do that. Or you know what, just pick ourselves up, brush our slacks off and just say, bite the bullet, put it out there the best we can, and then move forward with fresh energy as we pick topics for the week. Okay. But I think our
Yeah,
concept is right on. Our concept is people that want to have someone to give advice to, they could be anonymous also by just writing in as we're doing the show. Okay?
100%.
So we feel that this, and you know what, we're a work in progress. We have learned that you try different things, okay, and you adjust accordingly, and if you stay with it, you eventually become successful. And that is our plan here, okay? We don't know where it's going to bring us. We don't know how successful this is going to be. But you know what? We feel that we have a service to offer, which is, I don't want to use the word advice. What's another word, Sal, we can use? Um,
Our mentorship.
yeah, mentorship,
That's what it is.
just someone to be able to talk to and, you know, get some direction. And, and today, if you look, the world is full of coaches, international coaches for every issue. People are call and they're paying top dollar for the information. Okay. And, sometimes they have some kind of written qualification, but there's nothing like a life of experience. Okay, when it comes to navigating life. So, I think we have a lot to offer here, and that's what we're doing. How we're gonna adjust this accordingly is up to you guys and the response we get and what we feel the need is. So
Of course.
that's what we're doing here, Sal.
All the emails that you guys send. I know we've gotten a few. They're 100% confidential. Your names will not be put on the screen. Your names will not be spoken to unless you guys want us to. If there is a question that you deeply have that you want answers for, just contact us. The website is lidailyroast.com. Send us over an email. We answer within 24 hours. We're here to help. Bottom line, we're not here to do anything else but bring the proper information to the people.
Well, you know what, Sal? Again, we're going to just say what we do, how
Yeah, agreed.
we have navigated, how it affects our life. Okay, and if you take from that uh, something of a good word for yourself, then take it. I don't think anyone can say what someone else needs, but sometimes just to hear people talk about subjects that are near and dear to your heart just gives you more insight. It's all about insight.
Yeah. You know what? It's not easy for some people to come out and say some things, which we understand completely. Right, Gary?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not easy for a lot of people. Like for what I've said and the things that I've spoken about just in this seminar alone, they're things that I really was never comfortable sending out because I was always worried about what somebody had to think about it. So use me as an example, use my experiences. If you can relate to them, that's the ultimate goal here. If I can exploit my issues to something maybe you're not too open to tell somebody about, use my experience to help and better your situation.
That's great, Sal. That's really being vulnerable and courageous. What was some of the other? Time has gone. We're on here about 45 minutes already. What was some of the other topics that came under this heading that we talked about yesterday?
Taking on too many things at the same time.
Do what? Taking on too many things. Okay.
Yeah, navigating your problems,
Okay.
and then the rest was on the anxiety portion. But I think the anxiety portion, I think, should be its own podcast. I think that'll be great.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, under anxiety, everyone has a there's it's fear. I mean, there's underlying issues for all these.
The only reason why I want to do a podcast for it is because I want to give the people a chance to shoot us over an email, maybe some anxiety related questions. It's something I actually suffer with big time. I put myself in these thoughts, and I think this could all, you know what, this, we'll give it a little, a small piece of the seminar, because I think that's part of the reason why you might feel like you're stuck. Um, you know, we put ourselves, and you know what, we'll tackle the tackling too many things at the same time. I'll tell you my experience. I was always a guy, and Gary will tell you from the beginning, I get things done. I don't dwell on, okay, we have to do a website, we have to do an Instagram page, we got to do a Facebook page, we got to have 9 posts out by the end of the week. I tackle all that at the same time. And it's something that it's up here. I need to get things done or I don't feel complete with my day. I drove myself to a point where I had a lot of, when we really started picking up clients in the marketing business, I would be doing the same exact thing for all my clients. So I'd be working on 7-8 clients at the same time. Along with that, we were doing the daily roast. I was editing videos. I was going out filming shows. I had a bunch of stuff going on that I thought was mentally okay for me because I'm good under pressure like that. So I thought. Looking back at it on it now, it's really caused a lot of the anxiety that I've been putting myself through. A lot of the stress and aggravation. Early mornings, late nights, and it's just that was really part of, like, when you say navigate your problems, that was one of the main issues that I had. I would tackle on too many things, try to finish it too quick to the point where I didn't have enough time to finish those
And
things.
then what was some of the feelings that were going on when you say it created anxiety? What translate anxiety?
Okay.
What was going on?
So now this is good because this really adds in what you said before, matching up your words with your actions. When I talk to my clients, everything is like, okay, my biggest sale is, a lot of these marketing agencies take 2 weeks to start up. Mine is 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you're going to be ready to go. We're going to be moving on your thing. So I got into a situation once where I told everybody, I've been telling everybody it's a 24-hour startup. Give me 24 hours to get everything ready. We're going to start in a day from now. I had 5 clients sign up within like 2 or 3 days. And I'm trying to get all these guys set up in this amount of time because that's what I said. That was my word. So the fear of my word going in the garbage was one of them. My reputation was another one. Not finishing the work was the third one. Having too much work was the fourth one. And it was a feeling of being scared, embarrassed, worried, and not fulfilled. Not fulfilled. I felt like a loser. Like I really felt like the bottomest of the bottom because I should have went forward with it differently. Not because of the work that I put in, because I put in the hard work, but I felt like that because of how I made myself feel for the actions that I put myself into. So I think sometimes it's not worth pleasing somebody 150%. Take the extra couple days. Tell them, listen, it's going to be 3 4 days.
Absolutely.
You know, give yourself the time to breathe. At the end of the day, if you're not healthy, you're not free. You're not, you don't speak correctly. And like I said, these are all things that I've learned just speaking with Gary. These are things that I tried to swallow, that have just been bringing me this pain and this suffering of feeling like I'm in a chokehold all the time. So navigate your problems. Figure out where they're coming from. There's a root to all of it.
That's
The key is just to find it. You know what I mean?
that's one. That's great that you can say what you're saying. And you know what? It was something that I picked up on in the beginning. That was part of that, confrontation, peaceful confrontation. But in any event, Sal, I don't get it. And that was that you would, and it was probably what you were doing. You would tell me. You always had a yes answer, more or less, and it was very quick, and everything was quick. And then we go, and then all of a sudden you disappear for a couple of days, a day and a half, and that's it. That's it disappearing, and then I catch up with you, or you tell me and you give me reason, which is sort of, a polite excuse, but you would tell me that you just were overwhelmed, which was the truth, and you were overwhelmed. So this became, we sat down in my kitchen, and I said, Sal, what is it with you? What do you think it is? And do you know how to say no? And it seemed that he just didn't know how, and so that was something that that really brought me to have to resolve with Sal, that he just so much, like he said, 4 or 5 clients, I'll get it done for you tomorrow. And he would tell me, I didn't sleep last night, I was up all night working, doing this. And when I hear that, it's like, how can you come to, and then you're not in the best of mood, you don't have a great mindset, it's like you can't do a quality job. I said, you need to start saying and leaving the options and spreading it out and doing more quality work. And so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and I think part of it, now that we're talking about it, I'm thinking about it. I think it's because I'm such a perfectionist as well. And one of the biggest things I had to tackle, especially when I first started editing videos, this is a big thing, and there's a lot of content creators out there. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. Okay? In other words, don't let perfection get in the way of you releasing that content. Whether it be, the video quality. Some of the most viral videos that are on YouTube were filmed on a flip phone. So
they were filmed on what, Sal?
On a flip phone. They were old videos filmed back 10 years ago. We really didn't have cameras like that. And I think the thought of always being perfect is a little unrealistic. And I think that's a thought that everybody wants to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Bottom line, you're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be somebody who can do something a little bit better than you. It's just, that's the beauty of it. We're human. We're not computers. Once you start to really realize that and accept that, I think you're going to be a lot happier doing what you're doing. I started this business because I love what I do. When it started to feel like I started to really dread what I was doing, that's when I knew that there was a problem. Because bottom line, if you chose something you love and you start to hate it, it means you're doing something to cause that hate. You know what I mean?
Or if it's something you're doing and it causes you discomfort and unpleasantness, it's something you have to say, what's wrong here? What's going on here? So,
see, discomfort, that's a different type of word, because I feel like discomfort is good. I don't really like to feel comfortable, because I feel like my work ethic starts slowing down when I start feeling comfortable. What I do see, what you said, though, is you got to feel stable in what you're doing. You got to be level-headed, clear-headed. Every day you wake up, tackle these tasks with a smile on your face, because you got to love what you're doing, bottom line. I know a lot of people work a 9-to-5 job or building side businesses and stuff like that. I commend you. do what you have to do. But even at that 9 to 5 job, it's not fair to you or your employer if you're not giving 100%. You know, you want to be there mentally, figure out a smarter way to combat these tasks. I think the time management thing, guys, stay tuned because me and Gary have been talking like crazy. We got big ideas for these podcasts: time management, anxiety. There's some big topics that we're going to cover in real detail. I'm going to save you guys the time. I'm not going to go into it fully right now. I think Gary can agree because this thing will go on for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
But I think we got a lot across. I hope you guys really enjoyed the seminar. Is there anything you want to add, Gary?
Just let me, not really, just sort of like wrap it up that, I'm glad we got this out, Sal. What you expressed is, and I'm listening to you and the words you're saying and how you're saying it, and it's just, you really come about quickly to adjust and make strides forward in the right direction, and it's really great. And no, I think we're going to wrap up. We'll put this out there. Hopefully, it comes across good, that people are receptive to it, and whether they are or not, we will continue and make it better. And we will come up with a subject and start fresh. And like I said, we will only tell you what we have done, what and how we've adjusted, and you can take it or leave it. We're not here to say you're wrong, okay? We want an audience that is coming and saying, you know what, I just want to come to a place where people talk about these issues, a place that I can post up there and ask a question, listen to other people. I get from listening and learning. So that's it, Sal. I think we did good, and we'll continue from here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys again for watching the Are You Stuck seminar. We'll probably do a couple more of these moving into the future as the community kind of builds up a little bit more. We get our footing back, get all the podcasts that we want to release out. In the meantime, stay tuned. We're going to be posting once a week. The seminar will be out. I mean, obviously, you guys are seeing it now, so it'll be out in a short time after we're done filming. So, thanks again. I'm your host, Sal Liotta.
And I'm your host, Gary Lombardi, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
Have a great night.
Okay.